knows his background. I only chatted with him for about 5 minutes on stage, 5-10 minutes like of direct communication. And Kevin's a very successful person prior to Web3. Right, he's had his ups and downs as every founder. I know a lot of people, might be familiar with Dig and a few of the other things. But the guy has been a very successful founder, trying out different products. And when I say successful, is that he's gone through the highs and lows, right? But what he's now done is that he's turned that into a successful investor background. And the guy's worked with really preeminent firms, including both Google Ventures and True Ventures. This guy has money, right? This isn't something that he needs to do Web3 for money. Like, it's not it. Sure, there's a layer of money ahead, right? He would love to build $1 billion startup, right? But the challenge is, right, is that even Kevin, with that amount of background, what was crazy is when I was talking to him, he was actually taking feedback from me. He was trying to learn how he could be better on behalf of his organization that has 100x more in treasury, right? Has significant more venture capital, right? And even him as a founder needs advice and support. And it was funny, right? He was like, wow, this was actually really great feedback, really well stated. DM me about it as well. And I think that's kind of the powerful thing, is that there are so many founders who also need as much support as we can give, because Web3 is crazy. Web3 is so damn hard to navigate. And this is kind of why I'm so excited to be able to share the stage with amazing founders. And that includes our next village partner in that, and Patrick. And Patrick's been someone who's already been in the community for a bit, has organically bought his own diamond, has been engaging. But I'd love to bring him up here on stage, because what's also going to be so powerful about Tribe moving forward is that we're going to start giving you guys awareness of projects first directly through our Discord, right? And this is going to be that introduction for the world's largest, as Patrick essentially brings up a new launch strategy, a new product, experience, and hopefully has some cool things behind him. So let me bring him up here real quick, because he's definitely the main attraction here, and I would love for you guys to hear from him as well. Hey, what's up, Patrick?
Yo, GM. How's it going?
It is.
You had a productive day so far.
Oh, I know, man. But the crazy thing is, my week is just starting, so I have another 8 hours ahead. So it'll be fun, but I'm enjoying it, man. It's really a privilege to be able to talk to founders and builders every single day, because for me, I'm learning, right? And I love seeing the approaches. I mean, even me and you have been going back and forth this morning on just ideas and concepts, even they're small. It just is so cool that we're perfecting our crafts, and I love that the working relationship we've already built, because it's just an ability to give insight to one another as fast as we can to effectively deliver the best product experience potentially. And I think that's something that you're tackling, of course, with TWL as well.
Yep, no, exactly. I feel the same way. It's like there's this meme on tech Twitter, crypto Twitter, like being in the arena. I think it's hilarious. A lot of funny stuff from that, but it's true. It's like bear markets, time to build. There's not as many distractions in the hype, and of course, it's bad for our bags. But we're not here for that necessarily. We're here, at least me and you, on the builder side, and also a lot of people in the tribe community, as I've been in the community for a while, listened to a ton of these calls, been a diamond holder for a bit, and yeah, at the end of the day, we are here for long term, like building a new way to engage with communities on the internet, a new way to create, capture, and share value on the internet. And so, yeah, I'm hyped. These conversations get me so excited and ready to just keep building cool shit.
I love it, man, and I love that you're thinking through it each time, man. And this is kind of where it gets really fun, because you've come from an experienced background as well. So, Patrick, I'm curious, how would you like to share information today? Would you want to go through an overview of your background? Do you want to talk through the product? I kind of want to let you lead it, because it's effectively your story, but happy to kind of be a conduit for that conversation.
Totally. Yeah, so you can keep it pretty light, pretty casual. So first, I'm thinking can share a bit more about my background, then can also talk through the world's largest and kind of how we're thinking about things, a bit of our philosophy, and then at the end have a little surprise, get early exclusive access to everybody on the call on our first launch, that first experience activation, and I believe there'll be relics for this event as well. And so yeah, I definitely want to stick around for that and can talk through it and kind of share more. And if things resonate on the call, then would definitely love to get to walk through that activation at the end and kind of have some fun with it. So how does that sound?
Yeah, I think that sounds great, man. I think it's exactly how we like to have these conversations as well. So let's start around you and your background and what led you to leading and launching TWL. I think that history of how you got here is also fascinating, especially considering you're rocking a chromie squiggle here as your PFP that you've held for 2 years, right? Like you're actually like weirdly been in this space and been collecting art. So I'm really excited to hear about your background, and I'm sure this audience will as well.
Totally, totally. It's yeah, been building in crypto, building consumer products the past 3 years, and then even before that was out in San Francisco working for Instacart. I was an engineer on the growth team, so that was a great experience just seeing like a true fast growing, high growth startup. Recently IPO'd yesterday actually, and so basically took those learnings, brought it into crypto Web3. Started off at this company called Dharma that ended up getting acquired by OpenSea, was an early engineer there, and then was a founding engineer at a Web3 company called Mirror.xyz. And so joined there like the spring of 2021 during Top Shot, all that craze. I'm sure a lot of people on this call were part of that. And from there, that was basically the start of the NFT boom. And so at that point was trading NFTs, was able to kind of trade up into a Chromie Squiggle by buying a couple of loot bags, getting the token airdrop, and then kind of rolling over some of those gains into like leveling up my squiggle to a slinky. Like originally just had like the base level and and basically leveled that up, and that was a great just experience and just seeing the power of like this internet native money and memes and virality and all of that. And so yeah, and then when I was at Mirror, I also worked very closely with Tyler Hobbs and Jack Butcher on specific drops and was able to lead things from the protocol side, from the front end, back end, and the entire product experience. And so basically taking all those learnings from Web2, high growth startups, from being a DGen, investing, trading, collecting, and also building with some great artists and creators in the space, and took all of that and kind of really the idea was that it felt like a lot of NFT projects have let us down and let me down as a collector and many of my friends as well and people in the community. And really, I feel like injecting a new life and new energy is really like the core philosophy for us. And so instead of taking 3 months, 4 months to launch things, and even though it takes a lot of time to do things at a high quality and that's a strategy and that can work, at least for us, like our approach being like software engineers, people that like to move fast and quickly and experiment, we're going to be basically just launching these fun little mini games every couple of weeks. And also we're going to be launching like content. It's going to be videos, promo videos, fun graphics, and so even leading up, during, and after the events, there's going to be a whole entire experience on social, on Twitter. We'll eventually have a Discord community. We'll have some fun events there, and so it's really about launching these mini games and then using that as a way to basically get access to our low supply, free Genesis NFT factory. And so I'll stop there. I know that was a lot, but that's kind of the thinking, a bit of my background. And then also in terms of the team, I'm working closely. Our head of content, head of growth is Lambo Land. Lambo Land NFT on Twitter. He's one of the biggest NFT content creators, and he's going to be yeah, creating a lot of the content and involved with a lot of people in the community. And so some of you may have seen him. And so we also have some great software engineers, creative directors, product designers, all of that. But yeah, excited to dig a bit deeper as well.
Yeah, I think this is what's so exciting, man, is, I think as the audience listens, what I'm most bullish about here is that you've been in the trenches both as a collector and as a builder in Web3. It's really rare to find that on behalf of a company at this point, right? Mirror.xyz, if you guys aren't familiar, is kind of like a medium competitor for on-chain, communication. Has been doing a lot of cool stuff, especially on the Optimism network, too, with some of the reward structures that they're creating for Web3 publishing. Definitely worth taking a check out. But also, the fact that Patrick worked at Instacart, if you're not familiar with that, they're pretty much one of the leading, on-demand grocery shopping services in the world, and by far one of the largest, of course, in the U.S. They're going public or went public. Yeah, I think they just went public now officially, which is crazy. And being able to see that growth there also gives you that builder lens, and I think that's something that we're hoping for can be in crypto as well, right? We have a overall market explosion, which still is going to take some time. But Patrick, what I also get equally excited about behind all of that is that you've actually taken all this risk and raised venture capital as well, and kind of built this team around this. So walk me through, like, what led you to wanting to build a own company and going down the venture route, especially when you've kind of been raising in a bear market. And if I remember correctly, you raised right around the FTX collapse, which was probably interesting. Walk us
Yeah,
through your thinking
perfect
there.
timing, right?
Yeah, definitely crazy.
Yeah, no, totally. And so, yeah, sometimes I forget to mention it just because we are a VC-backed startup raised from some very solid crypto VCs that have funded great projects in the space. And it raised 2.8 million, like right in the middle, literally the day of the FTX crash when that started. And yeah, I was going through the process and learned a ton. And yeah, some of the thinking behind it was really that personally, I've grown up kind of in this like Silicon Valley world and working at Instacart, moving there, and I always felt like this was kind of like the Olympics of business, of tech, of startups, and being out there, especially pre-COVID in San Francisco, just the density of talent, the number of investors and VCs, and that was kind of like our Olympics. Was like whenever you go out and you talk to people and oh, you raise money, et cetera, and there's definitely a lot of ego there, and I'm definitely aware of that and realize that yeah, there's good reasons and bad reasons to do it. But personally, I want to compete at the highest levels. That's one, and I want to perform, yeah, at the highest level. And also, like really importantly as well, in terms of the business, is having the capital, being able to leverage the capital to hire an incredible team. So right now we have 2 full-time people and then 4 contractors. And from the contractors, there's 2 engineers, a protocol engineer, software engineer, there's creative director, product design. So it gets really expensive hiring the best people. And so raising the capital allowed us to get the best team that we possibly could, as you'll see with some of our content and product experiences. And then also it kind of allows us to really compete at the highest level and to not really have any excuses for not being able to execute on things. And so that's really where the motivation came from.
That's awesome, man. And you now have, the experience, the access, the resources to now build, and it's now kind of led you to TWL, the world's largest. Can you walk us through and maybe give us a high level introduction of what that is, and also specifically, when did that journey start and what have you been building up towards? Then we could hopefully talk about what we could kind of expect in the next few months too.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And so the way we look at the world's largest is we're like this Web3 native creative studio. We have people with all sorts of different skill sets across tech, design, art, etc. And really our goal is to build the most viral on-chain experiences. And so we've been building for the past, let's say, 6 to 8 months, like really deeply and getting the team involved and ideating on the idea and exploring different areas. And really what that's culminated in is over the next few weeks, we'll be launching a few different mini games where people will be able to participate to be able to earn exclusive rewards. And we're also going to eventually, like later this fall, launch some sort of like loyalty system to be able to track people on a leaderboard over time and see which events you participated in, which drops and mini games you played in, how well you did, all of that, and build this fun way of being able to earn our Genesis Factory NFT, which will be minting sometime next year. And really, we're kind of taking our time because we want to curate the community. We want to make sure it's people that are here for the long term, the people that really align with our philosophy, our values, and also it's really marketing at the end of the day as well, where we want to be able to build up that demand over time and not just mint too early because there's not going to be enough demand, like organic demand, which is something that's very important to us. And really just focusing on how do we create the most viral, fun experiences from the content, the lead up, the rollout to it, to the actual events and fun mini games, and then also afterwards, like the prizes and all the user generated content that comes from that. And so that's kind of the plan for the next few months.
Perfect, man. And I think this is kind of where, when we step back, why was Tribe really excited about, where Patrick and TWL is coming, it meets kind of our core thesis, right? Of, hey, we love venture back, right? There's room and operating capital to build. There's a team here, and they've been building prior to Mint, which we think is, of course, incredibly critical. Secondly, we want a founder who's in the trenches of Web3. Again, huge factor. You want to be aware of the meta and what's evolving and what's changing on a daily basis, right? Third, what we're hearing is small supply, free mint, right? Always great, right? When we're looking at this, from a bear market, it's recognizing that the assets themselves are built to have more long-term enduring value, hence that it's not a cost, a cash extraction play or a capital extraction play at the start. So again, just kind of hitting the sweet spot of our thesis. But I think the thing that gets me most excited is kind of this new sub thesis that we've been emphasizing as well is, how can you build and deliver product and experiences prior to the Genesis Mint? How do you, take a IP or a concept and allow it to be interactable and more importantly connect with users along the way, each step of the way, that then forms into the generative asset value, right, or the Genesis asset value. I think that not only does that give it a significantly stronger floor, but it gives it a significantly higher ceiling. And when I say floor, I'm not talking about floor price or anything like that. I'm saying floor is composition to product value. And that's what we want to see more, right? If I'm in your guys' shoes, if I'm a Web3 consumer, I want to see less blind hype, more real build velocity and utility prior to mint. That's way more interesting. I know it might not be as sexy per se for the blind speculation of, hey, am I going to hit it big with this project? But I think if we shift to this dynamic of real build value prior to building, right, prior to minting the core asset, you're just going to see way better alignment, way better value, and more importantly, way better engagement, right? You're going to see thoughtful engagement through the product experience, right? And this is where Patrick is leading into, while still having the best of a Genesis asset like design that has, factory like elements of ongoing yield. And I think that's also really powerful. And, I think the last thing that, Patrick will also share and with his storytelling is he's got a very wide story to be able to tell, right? It's a lot of healthy experimentation and trying to find fun and product market fit and exciting narratives. And I think that's what more builders need to do in Web3. So many are so stuck in one position only. While I think Patrick's approach to building this brand is a lot more free. And I think, Patrick, I'm curious, what's led to kind of some of the inspiration to that model, right? Which I think could be really powerful here as you keep building in this market too.
Totally, yeah. Yeah, I would say that really, it just feels like personally, my experience on the internet, it just feels like I'm doom scrolling and I'm like half aware. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Twitter, and I can just get like stuck in these loops. And I just feel like it's the same thing. People optimizing for the feed. There's like the 50 AI threadors optimizing for the same things on Twitter. There's a TikTok trends, and there's a lot of entertainment value and all of that. But really, what we wanted to do is like tell creative stories, fun, interesting, engaging stories that kind of like shake you out of that state that you're normally in and kind of be like, wait, what the fuck is going on here? This is crazy. This is wild. This is insane. Who are these people? What is this? This is funny. And kind of speak to the internet native DJ. And that's the other thing. It's like I feel like a lot of people are also kind of afraid to like offend people nowadays. And of course there's no room for like hate speech and violence and things like that and discrimination, but like having some fun, having some jokes, talking about maybe some taboo subjects like sex and drugs and things like that, and just kind of making light of it and showing the reality that many of us are DJs. This is the way that the world is, the way the world works, and it's yeah, not necessarily like condoning certain things, but more so like expressing and telling these fun stories, and really it's like being able to see yourself in the stories we tell through our content and through our games, and specifically like some like brands that we take a lot of inspiration from. One is called Mischief, MSCHF, and they do these viral product drops every few weeks. They're Web 2 focused, no Web 3 elements, and basically taking that approach, but layering in the community engagement, the community ownership, NFTs, all of those aspects, and allowing each drop and each mini game to compound over time is kind of our like iteration on their model, and also very inspired by brands like Supreme, their cultural relevance, as well as Mr. Beast, his ability to just entertain like massive audiences and really push the boundaries and do these viral, insane stunts. And so you can expect elements of all these different brands infused in the DNA of everything that we do.
Yeah, and I think this is where it makes it like the most exciting for me, right? What I think is it's expecting the unexpected. That's actually like what Web3 is at its core, and I think if you could find those kind of storytelling and those elements of where this product experience could go, it could feel like a real brand. I think sorry, excuse me. I think like the biggest problem that I still struggle with Web3 is that when I look historically, right, at the amount of money that's gone into Web3, the amount of time, energy, content, etc., it's felt so inefficient because there's almost not many real brands, right? The brands don't have as deep of story as it could have been, right? It doesn't like. Are there any logos I really want to represent from the first wave of Web3? Like, is there anything I want to rock? Is there a brand that I'm actually proud? Like, well, a best way I can explain it is right. Like, I'm in Amsterdam. I do have work, but I do not talk about the word crypto or Web3 or NFTs at all when I'm out publicly. Like I don't even bring it up. And the real reason for that is that it's because I'm not truly proud of anything from this ecosystem, which is brutal. It's actually quite brutal to be able to say that, right? And it was funny actually. Yesterday, for the first time, someone cold that had no clue I was in Web3 was pitching me some NFTs, right? Which was crazy. It was such a weird feeling. This guy has no clue who I am, and was like literally pitching me on a couple of like random NFT collections, right? It was a Lazy Lion shill, I think a crypto cannabis club shill, and someone was still trying to shill me. Oh, what's it called? What were those? Alien Friends as well too, right? So it was interesting, right? It was like a little bit of a different era. These are probably people, someone who was stuck with bags, but it was very interesting chat. And I bring this up, and I was like, it was interesting because he actually did believe in the brand, right? Which was really kind of cool and endearing. And like, it was crazy. This dude actually minted Lazy Lions from day one and like saw the whole thing go down and up, and I was just like, why didn't you sell? And I'm like, dude, this dude, he's like, I actually believed in the brand. I'm like, holy shit, there's actually people who do believe, which is great. I'm not there yet, but it is very fascinating to see where that spectrum is. And I think with like where Patrick is now going with this is that I think he's trying to explore the surface area of what can be an enduring brand that connects, that's born through Web3, but can speak to Web3 and Web2 in the long run. And I think that's a really fun experiment, a very different approach. And again, as Patrick mentioned, Mischief is actually, I think, one of the best at doing this in Web2, right? And when you look at Mischief, if you haven't seen it, I'll grab you them. They do these kind of like interesting drops every month or so or every few weeks, and they're usually something interesting like physical drops. They had Jesus water Nike shoes, which were really interesting. They actually custom edited the Nike Air Max bubbles and essentially put like water inside them, kind of really interesting in that front. And it just kind of led to a new product line and a product storytelling experience that I don't think has actually been mastered by anyone else. If I were going to launch a new product, I would be launching it through the Mischief approach. And I think very similarly, if I were going to launch a new Web3 product, honestly, it'd be some mix of good community, i.e., like Village and Tribe, alongside like healthy experimentation that leads to connection, organic virality. That's what I really want to see. I want to see virality that is not financially motivated. That's when Web3 gets way more interesting. Like everyone's trying to tell me, like, oh, friendship's blowing up. I'm like, bro, you guys don't realize this is not true viral. This is just like this is pyramid scheme maximization to allow for the Ponzi returns to go to those who keep shilling it. Just because they're incentivized to do it doesn't make it inherently viral. What I'm much more interested in seeing is what is going to be inherently viral because I truly believe in this product without financial incentives. That's what we need to be able to get to in Web3. Yes, it would be nice if financial incentives do align as well, right? But that shouldn't be the primary focus. And I think that's where Web3 has lost the discipline of building really great brands, right? And I think this is kind of where an opportunity presents itself, specifically with how TWL is kind of thinking through it, but also just the framework that Patrick is going through. So, Patrick, I know that was a lot. Let me pause there to see if you have any reactions or if there's any other areas you want to specifically go through as well.
No, that was great. Shared a lot already, and yeah, I just totally agreed. Echo those sentiments around mainly the point on like these drops that we do, these games, the content. We want it to just be cool and go viral and be interesting to people outside of Web3. And even though we do want to start and focus on Web3 natives, just because that's where my network and audience is, that's where Lambo's network and audience is, and that's what we know. And I think there's a ton of opportunity there. But yeah, pretty soon in the first, even from the beginning, the content we create, we do want it to be just like shareable to people outside of the space. And so that's definitely like a core principle for us. And just make it. It's a combination of content, being consistent, making it fun and entertaining, telling great stories, building an emotional connection, and also the same point around like what are the brands that if they release merch, you'd be proud to wear it, and not in this just like, hey, I'm just wearing it just because my bags, lol. But mostly, hey, this is like I have a deep emotional relationship, and this is my forever asset, and there's a deep relationship, like just like digital collectibles, where it's Pokemon cards, trading cards, like sports cards, memorabilia, etc. And so I think a lot of that comes from the storytelling, it comes from the content, it comes from the product experiences. And so that's really where we're focusing on. And that's where we believe that we're differentiating and kind of bringing some new life and energy into the space. And so, and then to that point, we're going to have a drop today, a very mini drop, just kind of introducing the brand. And so I think that's really the only other thing left.
Awesome, man. Sorry, my mic is acting up. So, and I think this is kind of where we get to the next level, right? And I think this is where what the world's largest and TWL is trying to do is going to be introducing this mini drop experience that builds up to a Genesis asset. So, Patrick, can you walk us through that strategy? What does engagement, what does alignment need to look like that would be important for this community to know as you roll out TWL, and what can we expect over the next few weeks or next month or so as you kind of get this first activation of sorts, right? Really off the ground.
Yeah, that's a great question. And yeah, the thing that I really respect about you saying to the tribe community is just how thoughtful you are about loyalty, and that being like the key recurring word that I hear all the time. And so we take a very similar approach, learned that from you. And really what that looks like is like being early, engaging with the brand on content on Twitter. We're going to be building tools to be able to track that type of information, like not necessarily just like following, liking, retweet, but like also like deep, like great content, user generated content, supporting the brand, and also a lot of it is qualitative as well. It's like we're going to spend a lot of time on Twitter engaging with the community, talking to people, and so people that are thoughtful, people that providing feedback, encouragement, etc. Like that's like we'll notice that for sure, and we're going to make sure that those people get rewarded and they get elevated within the community, and then specifically within like the next few weeks and our product experiences and our drops. Yeah, more the one today is going to be pretty straightforward. It's mostly focused on launching the Twitter account, launching our website with a fun little story experience. But then over the next few weeks, there's going to be some deeper content, some more games, some more prizes, rewards, and so engaging in those and competing, and that'll be a very big input into our loyalty point system, which is going to be like the main way that we end up allocating our Genesis NFT collection. And so, yeah, just like if you have good intentions, you're thoughtful, you really like resonate with the brand. And again, at the end, it's not about grinding. That's not how you build a long-term sustainable community. It's about people that actually, if you really like the content, you like the story, you like the team, and you really like vibe with how we're thinking about things and what we're doing, we'd love to have you involved. And yeah, and if you put in an honest effort, like we'll do our best, and it's our goal and our job and our mission to make sure those people get rewarded at the end of the day.
Yeah, I love it, man. And I think that's like the real big thing here, right? Is that, it's measuring loyalty and allowing for individuals to kind of come through this product experience, right? And that's kind of what we want to really get right, and what we want to make sure that we're trying to do for everyone within this community, right? And that's also the other advantage of being here. It's not only that, hey, we're going to have some allocation advantages as a village partner, but it's also our opportunity to seed the community in the way that we want, right? There's a reason why we're protecting Oath at all costs. There's a reason why we're protecting this community at all costs, because we want you all to also be amplifiers for other projects. So, as Patrick noted, one of the big things that, what will be kind of being released here is that he'll share both we can share the Twitter here at the moment right now. Patrick, walk me through what would be the ideal, what is the most valuable ways people can contribute to your project here at the moment right now?
Yeah, no, totally. And so, yeah, exclusive, sneak peek, first access. We we're literally just gonna make our first tweet right now. And so, yeah, I think the best way, just to keep it simple, I'll tweet it from our brand account, and then I'll share the link here. And then if what we've talked about on the call resonates, I like how Saint says like don't blindly just follow things, ape into things, grind things for no reason. It's yeah, if you resonate and yeah, I'm on the call because I want to be able to tell our story and to show you that yeah, we're here for the long haul, and yeah, would love to have you as part of the journey. And so if that resonates, then yeah, engaging with the tweets, following our account, and going through the website. And it's a bit different from like normal like website experiences, but I think it's worth it. And, like taking the time to experience it and maybe go through it a couple of times and kind of get a sense of how we're thinking about things and bringing this new energy to the space. And so I can basically send out this tweet in a second, share it in the chat, and then yeah, we can take it from there. And that would be a huge help for kicking our brand off the ground and being able to be the first people that really were able to engage with us early on. And yeah, and also mentioned earlier, it's going to be a relic for this call, and we'll come up with some creative ways. I talk to Say multiple times every week, and we'll come up with some creative ways to reward people that were on the call and have been part of this journey from the very beginning. So I'll send that tweet now if everything sounds good.
Yeah, I love it, man. I think that's the right way, and we can seed that, share that. And this is also your guys' opportunity, and this is the privilege that we're trying to offer you guys as well. It's not only having the first access to be able to get in and following here as well, right? But, it's the ability to amplify messages that you resonate with. But, here's the other amazing thing is you have the opportunity now to share this with your other communities, right? The communities that you trust, right? And let them be able to be a part of this sooner than later, right? And, again, I hope that you want to bring on more thoughtful people, not just, grinders who are trying to find the next opportunity, right? That's kind of the important thing. What you guys really want to do is leverage this to see, like, who does this resonate with, who does this build with, and who does this execute with. So Patrick just dropped it here. So if you guys want to follow this account, like my two recommendations here is follow and then, like, retweet, comment if this is something that aligns with what you're doing, what we're seeing, and what we're building. This is where we are, as Tribe, truly value you guys, right? And we want to make sure that we're able to take this collective audience that's here and be able to translate it into meaningful actions across the ecosystem, right? And this is one of those as well. And this is just one of our time slots. So we'll make sure that we bring this up in a few of our other later chats that are happening this week. But we really do have this amazing privilege. Again, venture back founder working on this early stage market experience, and it's unlocking it here. And here's the best part: you could go check out their website for the first time, which is also really cool. Check out what they're building. It's a very different experience. Patrick, I don't know if you want to communicate anything on that front as well, on like what you think the user should be expecting as they roll into your website as well.
Yeah, totally. And I already see a ton of people have started engaging. I really appreciate that. You guys are amazing. And yeah, on the website, I would say it's really just lean back and just experience it. Try and get to the end. Again, it'll take around like a minute, minute and a half, which I know it's for many of us nowadays with Twitter brain, Discord brain, that's a long time, but it's worth it. You get to see more of the brand, the story. We spend a lot of time thinking through like how do we want to communicate things, and it's like we're talking to a group of friends. And yeah, you'll see like through the video, through the manifesto, and then at the end as well, just like kind of how we operate and what you can expect going forward. So yeah, I just ask to go through it, and if it resonates, like feel free to ping me, DM me, and I can actually share my personal account. And yeah, like any thoughts, that would be super helpful as well. Just like in the future, what you thought, was it cool, was it not cool, and yeah, and also the partner communities, also a huge boost. That would be like, I'd be very grateful for that as well. If it makes sense, you think it resonates, and yeah, at the end of the day, I view communities as partners. They're not just a whitelist allocation. It's we're working together. It's understanding feedback, how people, what is the sentiment? Because at the end of the day, your customers. At the end of the day, your community members, your co-creators in this world of Web3. And so yeah, I'm here. I'm always online, and so I'll make sure that I get back to you, and there's a way for you to reach me. So let me share my Twitter account as well, in case that's easier for people.
Yeah, I massively appreciate it. And, for all of you who are actually here, I think the other big thing is, we massively value you guys who are also being active across channels. Like, one of the biggest things that you'll see from Tribe is that we are measuring at every level in a healthy way, right? We want to understand who are the most loyal people in our community. That is actually the number one thing that we're trying to constantly determine, right? And that means your actions, your support, your value while you're here is way more important than just the relics. This is what I'll give you a little bit of alpha here. The relics are soon going to be one of the less valuable features in our world. There's going to be new metrics of engagement and alignment for those of you who are participating. And I think this is the other big thing, right? Is we're looking for active engagers as well. And this is what I'd really recommend, right? Is that if you guys are part of this world and you actually care about Tribe, you should be supporting all of our projects. You should be supporting these ecosystems that you align with, especially if you plan to seek whitelist from it, right? Or allocation from it, right? This is the power of Web3, is the alignment of the communities going forward, right? And making sure that, hey, all of these projects are growing and building to be significantly larger as well. And there's significantly more retweeting and following. And that's okay. That doesn't bother me at all, but it's also showcasing a delta of knowing what are real users, right? Where does that realness come from, and where does those interactions come from? It comes from those who want to go deeper down the funnel with us. And that's what Tribe is all about, right? We don't care about, the 50,000 people in our Discord, right? I honestly don't care about 35,000 of them. I really don't. Most of them have either left the space or aren't really interested, right? What do we really care about? It's the 5,000 of you who are consistently here, but we even care more about the 1,000 of you who are constantly contributing to our projects as buyers, builders, collectors, amplifiers, communicators, FUD battlers, everything like that. And that's what the powerful thing is of what Tribe is getting down to. So when you think about as we build on-chain reputation, this is part of your on-chain reputation. This is all part of your engagement as well. And that's kind of where it's going to be really fun. And that's why I love starting this experiment with Patrick is that, okay, what if we actually seed this through this community and start using this as our measuring amplifier of seeing who's truly aligned in what we're doing. So if you do believe in what's happening here, you do believe in the next value of these products, it is trying to join these events. It is amplifying these events. It is also engaging and sharing with your alternative communities to know about this as well too. And that's the big thing that we really want to be able to get to and solve for like the virality side of the equation here. So I'm really excited about kind of this process, this project, and amplifying this over the next few days because there's also a countdown timer here for a good reason. And that's going to be the fun thing as well is, you know, this experience has a window of access, and that window of access will roll over, right, into something way, way stronger, way, way, way more exciting, and of course, coalesce to what we think a Genesis asset will be. And this is the same advice that I'll be sharing with Patrick, right, of this helpfulness on the curation side of the equation. Curation is going to be our number one skill at Tribe. We are going to be able to curate the best community members. And I see a ton of you out there, right? Like, shout out to all of you who are engaging in chat right now, right? Like, shout out for going the extra +1 of letting us know that you are here. Shout out to all of you who are engaging on Twitter. Shout out to all of you who are representing and pointing people to Tribe and Saint wherever you are, right? Like, this is what a real community does. It's the support in all these different directions, right? And that's all we're trying to do, right? There's no cash extraction here. We're not asking you for money. We're not asking you for anything else. We're asking you simply for find stuff you believe in. If you believe in Tribe, right, more than just grinding for relics, which I know can easily be something that people over optimize for, what you'll realize though is those of you who are still going that extra mile, we see you. We're accounting for that, and we will be rewarding that as well. And I legitimately want. There's a reason why we want to connect all of these pieces together, and this is what's going to amplify us out of a bear, right? Like, even seeing 450 people here, right, is great, right? But you know what's going to be greater is when I see 450 people of you engage with the interactions as well, right, with the account as well. This is where we're seeing that delta of how do we keep bringing those users down funnel. So who are the people that are most important to us right now? It's the people that are also going further down the funnel by engaging with content. So this is kind of a little bit of a rift because this is what I want to share with you guys now is that we have to mature as an organization to be significantly bigger and better to support the next builders and the next eras of what's happening. And we're going to use Tribe now to kind of curate the TWL network while also helping TWL connect with other people as well too. So as you kind of take away from this, the couple things here would be is that, A, if you are value or had fun with the product experience that you saw with TWL's website, share that with a couple, at least one other friend or one other community, just to be like, hey, venture-backed team, doing a free mint, trying something cool, and is partnered with a community that I value, Tribe. Right? That's what you should be doing and sharing if you believe in this. And if you do, this is where not only you're going to be able to help Tribe, but I think you'll also gain more credibility and value out from us as well too. So Patrick, as we kind of wrap up, I'm very excited about these kind of next steps. We'll be sharing TWL over the next few days. You're always more than welcome to jump on these chats. we want to continue to increase this amplification for you guys every step of the way, and get us to a healthy user base that's following, engaging, and is really excited. So I think as you tap into all of that, there'll be some pretty cool stuff coming through. But as we cover this whole gamut, curious to see if there's anything else you'd like the community to know about as you kind of wrap up, and kind of share anything else on next steps here too.
No, really, I just want to say thank you, everyone being on the call. 453 concurrents. I'm not sure there's really anywhere else that you can get this type of engagement, and seeing in the chat, like, the feedback, the love, the all of it. And so, I just want to say thank you, really, and grateful. And again, this is an appetizer. This is like we just set the table, brought out the appetizers, and over the next few weeks, we'll create more experiences. And you'll be the first to know. And I'm excited to continue building. Let me know if there's any feedback, any ideas, all of that, and look forward to continue on this journey and get to know a lot of you much better over these next few months, the next few years, hopefully.
I appreciate it, man. I love that sentiment as well. And this is where we want Tribe to go, right? It's being able to host founders like this here exclusively. I mean, the alpha is Tribe's network, right? That is the alpha here. And recognizing that you have a chance to be a part of it, a chance to have access to it, and a chance to share it, I think is what we hope to continue to grow each step of the way. And with Patrick, right, it's the idea that you get to see the first access, the first touch point, and you're going to see all the other activations. And this is kind of what you want, right? This is exactly what you want when you're in this bear market, is the ability to see new products, try new outcomes to deliver new value. That's what we want, right? That's what we exactly want to be able to get to. And these are the type of builders you want to support, right? Builders that aren't extracting, builders that are being conscious of this product experience, builders that actually care about your input and your feedback, right? And this is exactly what Patrick has been doing with me every single day, every single week, recurring meetings, walking through feedback, trying to understand, talking to diamond holders. The next era of Web3 builders, our bet at Tribe is that they're going to have very large influence from not only our strategies, but our community, right? That's what we really want to stand for. That's the standards that we're trying to push towards. And this is your guys' opportunities to help us amplify, because one of the things that I hope you all understand is that as Tribe primary projects and Tribe partner projects through Village succeed, the value of this community massively amplifies. I mean, we're talking about compounding value games, right? And this is what we're trying to ensure. And even through Bear, we're still bringing up amazing partners, amazing builders, venture-backed guys that are going to try giving you a lot of other upside as well. So this is, effectively a network we are building. And this is where Tribe is honestly incredibly thankful, right, to be able to meet founders like Patrick, meet founders like Joao. We have founders, even creators like V at Ether. We have all these pieces coming in, and we have a pretty good understanding of how projects launch in this market. And I don't know about you guys, but a sub 1,000 supply, free mint, venture-backed team that's already building is 100x more exciting than any other crap that I'm seeing in this market right now, right? And that's exactly why you want to stay close to how Tribe is thinking through this, is that we are really pushing this product experience forward by finding founders who are aligned with that vision. So Patrick, I want to say huge thank you for just sharing, extending, and giving us these insights. We're going to do our best as our community to organically grow this over the next few days, and then of course work closely with you and Lambo as well, which I'm really excited to learn from too, to kind of amplify as we build up over the next 10 days. I won't be surprised that you guys will start having thousands of followers next week, and hopefully, right, we'll go way longer into the future storytelling here as well too. So this is going to be really fun. I really appreciate all of the time and the feedback here. Patrick, we'll definitely love to have you back up here on stage when we kind of expand more of the storytelling as well. And of course, you as a community member can always come in and chat with Patrick too. We'll also be opening up for Diamonds a custom room to be able to give feedback to Patrick, and then vice versa. We should probably have a couple more events with Patrick as well, live here in Discord and on Twitter too. So, guys, as a quick recap here, let me just share why we're very excited about TWL. TWL is one of our Next Village partners. They're taking an approach to really build new dynamic design experiences that invoke brand building. They take a lot of inspiration from projects like Mischief as well, if you're familiar in the Web 2 world. What's really exciting is Patrick is aiming to build design experiences to launch first prior to minting the actual Genesis Mint. And on the Genesis Mint, it is trying to take a factory like design, sub 1,000 supply, and free mint as well. The team is venture backed, has already raised $2.8 billion, has already been working, and come from deep Web3 experience as well by being builders at Mirror and a couple of other previous acquired companies as well too. Prior to that, Patrick also worked at high growth tech companies, including Instacart as well in his early days. What you have here is an experienced team with capital and trying to put a new vision out in the market. There's probably no other project that I'd want to be supporting that are taking variables like this. So with that, I want to applaud Patrick for A, just being able to come here and share that with us, but B, also considering our community to be one of the first to be able to be partnered with it too. So Patrick, thank you so much, man. Any other last words as you kind of wrap up or anything else you want to say to the community?
No, I really appreciate it, and I gotta say, Saint is the best hype man. All of you are in great hands. He's here for the long term, and getting to know him better. I was already a huge fan, listening to the AMAs, and then now working closer together on specific projects in the trenches. It's been a great experience, and yeah, I feel like these types of long-term partnerships, like personally, it's quality over quantity. It's from relationships, from community, from partners, all of that. And so, yeah, I'm just stoked. Again, really appreciate everyone. That's the main thing, and excited to continue building.
Love it, man. Well, guys, thank you all so much for joining in today. We'll have more conversations with Patrick as well. Probably next week, we'll probably be doing a larger Twitter event, and we'll share this more out loud. So, again, use this as an opportunity to bring quality communities, quality friends along us with this journey. We'll also do the same here within Tribe. We'll talk a little bit about TWL later this week and kind of give you a little bit more of my insights on how I'm trying to organize partners, because this is the other thing I could give you a little bit of insight on. We have tons of partners to choose from. Like every month, tons of partners, right? And our, again, flexes is that we get to choose. We have the ability to find the ones that align the most with us. And I hope that you'll see from some of our languages and, of course, the ability on how Patrick is going to work. He's going to be incredibly, incredibly strong ally for representing what Tribe can be in the future. So I'm really excited to see this Tribe network kind of kick off. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to have a lot more to share. So with that all, we're going to let you all go. We really hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Later this week, we have a couple more events on the calendar. We will have, if you're part of the Ether community, there's an Ethereal Beauty event. And then I'll probably be throwing up a couple of spontaneous events later this week as well. Friday, we won't have any events. I am traveling Friday and Saturday, so we'll keep those as quiet days and keep this more of a quiet weekend. But definitely we'll do another spontaneous AMA later today, like in 4 or 5 hours probably. And then separately, we'll probably do another AMA tomorrow as well, to kind of just share some of the other insights we're seeing, especially as we navigate through Ether. Outside of that, if you do have other questions, let us know. We did give out a relic. In this case, the relic was given out a little bit earlier. So it was given out to about 325 of you who were already here. Again, the relic will come out at different times. The relic process will also change as well. There's going to be a lot of cool things coming in through the product experience as well. So there's going to be, a very important thing. And, like I said, we're utilizing this, and, I'll give you the insights here so none of you get surprised. We're utilizing automated relics and secret chamber to be able to understand who's actually here and who's actually engaging. There's a lot of cool things that we're learning through this process here. So we hope that you guys will be able to be a part of this and be able to continue to contribute to where things are going in our world. So with that all, we'll let you all go. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll chat soon. Bye-bye now.
Adios. Bye, everyone.